Coming up on KUJH News, last week's warmer weather brings in more customers to local businesses. Just how businesses benefit from the warmer temperatures coming up. And a new attraction to Lawrence is in the works. What the Kansas Outdoor Center is estimating will cost $70 million coming up.
From the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex McClune. Tonight is senior night for the KU men's team. Inside Allen Fieldhouse, fans will see this year's group of seniors take James Naismith Court for the very last time. But there's more than just what we see on the court. KUJH reporter Travis Calvin shows how one KU senior is playing his last game in the stands.
The sound is hard to miss. Without them, Kansas basketball games would just be missing something. The KU Pep Band has one last performance in Allen Fieldhouse this season before traveling with the team for postseason play. As one senior's time comes to an end, the memories have been everlasting.
But yeah, there have been a lot of really fun games. The Oklahoma game last year that went to triple overtime, that was a great one. The West Virginia game this year was a lot of fun when we came back from like 14 down or something.
It's sentimental. That's the best word I can say for it. It's emotional. It's a memory that those kids are never going to forget.
After every game, we play Home on the Range, the state song of Kansas, and it might hit me when we play that. It'll be an interesting experience. My last game, it'll probably hit me towards the end. This is my last time playing in Allen Fieldhouse, but it's been a good 4 years, and I'm excited to keep going at least for the postseason.
It is such a memory, and it is such a warm spot in your time here at KU and in the music program, however you're involved. It hits you. It really does.
Though his time at KU is coming to an end, it may not actually be the last time Doolittle plays for KU in Allen Fieldhouse.
This is really kind of my last official thing, at least with KU bands. It's kind of bittersweet a little bit. KU also has like alumni bands that come back for homecoming during football season, and then they have an alumni band for basketball season for one game. So I'd like to come back and do those too.
Reporting for KUJH News, I'm Travis Calvin.
The Fog will honor the Pep Band seniors at halftime. We'll have a full preview of tonight's game later on in sports. As for the weather, we have Jacob Asherman here to preview the weather.
Yeah, Alex, this weather we've been having lately has certainly been taking us through a bit of a roller coaster ride. You could see last week our temperatures were unseasonably warm, with mostly temperatures in the high 60s, low 70s before a strong cold front pushed through our area, really cooling things off, making for a cool weekend, and even giving us a little bit of rain and snow mix. You can see since then our temperatures have rebounded a bit. We're seeing those unseasonably warm temperatures, 62 degrees. Now, one thing I do want to point out is just that precipitation we have received. Last show I talked about how dry our February has been. Now, with that snow we did receive, it is going to leave intact that record I talked about, that 125-year record with the February without any snow. Now, one thing we do have coming up is the possibility of another strong cold front moving through our area, giving us cold temperatures and the chance for some more snow. Now, just when that arrives in our area, I'll answer that coming up. You're going to want to stay with me, guys.
Thanks, Jacob. Well, if the week warms up, some Lawrence businesses may anticipate an increase in sales. KUJH reporter Katie Keller reports how some businesses cashed out thanks to last week's weather.
Don't let the Kansas weather fool you. When we shot this video on Friday, it was snowing. But just a couple of days earlier, it was sunny and warm, and this patio was packed. The unseasonable warmth brought large profits to local Lawrence businesses that sell alcohol. One bar owner says great weather mixed with sports tends to bring in customers.
Those last two Saturdays were away basketball games. People are going to come here to watch them, but definitely more came, and then they stayed because of the warm weather.
Bars aren't the only businesses that profited, liquor stores too. One liquor store manager saw a 10% increase in sales over a warm weekend. He says that's because when it's sunny, people are happy.
In dead of winter and they have a nice warm day, they like to get out in the warm weather, and I think that leads to people buying more beer and just more spending in general.
Other local liquor stores reported seeing earnings they usually don't get until springtime. With their busiest time being the holidays, the early spring weather was certainly a boost. Reporting from Lawrence, Katie Kelleher, KUJH News.
As for alcohol on campus, the Kansas Union sold its last beer in 1997. Now a student senate campaign is pushing to change the university's alcohol policies. If the current policies are revised, the union may be allowed to sell alcohol. Union Director David Moosey says policy changes benefit everyone more than just one way.
Increasingly, I think people are looking to use these kind of programs on campus to hold students on campus and give them safe opportunities for this kind of interaction.
The union plans to renovate the first floor. Plans include building a sports pub in the former J-Bowl area. The renovation isn't expected to start until the summer of 2019. As for life around the campus, many walk through Mass Street and trek Clinton Lake every day. KUJH reporter Kennedy Schneiders reports how Lawrence may be adding another stop to that list.
Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism teamed up with the nonprofit organization Play with the goal of adding new excitement to the city of Lawrence with the Kansas Outdoor Center at Clinton State Park.
The center would be right here where you'd find zip lining, rock climbing, a beer garden, and a man-made whitewater rafting course. Their goal is to immerse people in the outdoors again, but at what price?
The 40-acre outdoor center is estimated to cost at least $70 million. With no plans or funding help from the city or state, where will that money come from? Assistant Secretary of Parks and Tourism, Linda Craighead, says the answer is in the bond market.
There is a great avenue for us to utilize, and it's called a star bond. A star bond is an opportunity for us to build this facility for all of our citizens of Kansas, as well as everybody beyond Kansas. We're going to attract more dollars and more visitors to Kansas.
A star bond allows local governments to issue bonds to pay for an economic developing project. Then, with the sales tax revenue generated by the development, the bonds are paid off. Lawrence officials are still waiting on more details from project leaders before any final decisions can be made. Reporting in Lawrence, I'm Kennedy Schneiders, KUJH News.
If you're interested in learning more about the Outdoor Center, the project leaders will table on campus the second week of March. Well, coming up on KUJH News, we recap last night's Oscars. And also, over 100 headstones were vandalized in a cemetery in Pennsylvania. We'll have more when we come right back.
We connected so fast when we first met. I think that our relationship will last for a lifetime.
Being a role model for someone, being there for someone, there's nothing I can compare it to. She has uncles up in Minnesota that treat me like I'm their own now.
I feel like she's actually my big sister in a way.
It's been one of the best decisions I think I've ever made.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Last night, we saw what happens when you combine two major films like Moonlight and La La Land. What we didn't see, 2 award winners accept their Oscars due to President Trump's travel ban. KUJH reporter Ellis Wiltsey has live in the newsroom with more.
Thanks, Alex. The Oscars drew eyes from all over the world as Hollywood's finest talk politics, mix-ups, and the winners who were not in attendance.
While many will remember last night for the now infamous Best Picture mix-up, which left La La Land the winner for just over 2 minutes, instead of actual winner Moonlight. It's important to note the political undertones to the evening. But following Trump's executive order barring citizens from 7 Middle Eastern countries from traveling to the U.S., it left a few of the nominees out in the cold. Asghar Farhadi, the director of Best Foreign Film winner The Salesman, said he was not attending in solidarity with immigrants from his home country of Iran. Along with Farhadi, Khalid Hatib, the cinematographer for the winner of Best Documentary Short, The White Helmets, about a group of volunteers in the Syrian war, was barred from entering the U.S. on Friday to attend the Oscars. Back here at home, many college film students dream of winning an Oscar. KU junior Jaden Royal says that being left out is not what filmmaking is all about.
Okay, to be honest, I think it's really disappointing because of what's happening. It's kind of getting in the way of art being, a universal and unifying thing in our world. So it would just be very disappointing.
And with all eyes still on the White House as President Trump is expected to unveil another executive order on immigration this Wednesday. Live in the newsroom, Ellis Wiltsey, KUJH News.
Philadelphia police are still searching for the culprit who left more than 100 Jewish cemetery headstones damaged. Police have not determined a motive, but they believe the act was targeting the cemetery. No vandalism was reported at the 3 nearby Christian cemeteries. Another Jewish cemetery in St. Louis also reported headstone damage. The Anti-Defamation League is offering a $10,000 reward for any information. The organization also plans to hold a news conference with Philadelphia's faith leaders later today. Threats against Jewish community centers continue around the nation, with at least 16 centers in 11 states experiencing bomb threats. This JCC in Davie, Florida received a phone-in bomb threat earlier today and was evacuated. Police later concluded the threat was not credible. Press Secretary Sean Spicer expressed President Trump's concerns about the widespread threats and vandalism.
The president continues to condemn these and any other form of anti-Semitic and hateful acts in the strongest terms. From our country's founding, we've been dedicated to protecting the freedom of our citizens' rights to worship.
The Anti-Defamation Organization has issued a security advisory for all Jewish institutions due to these crimes. Following the shooting at an Olathe bar, 4 separate GoFundMe pages have raised over $1 million supporting the victims. The money will go towards funeral costs, medical expenses for the 2 victims, and family support. The funding comes from sources all over the world, and we will have more with Jacob coming up in weather.
Yeah, Alex. This weather has certainly been taking us through a bit of a roller coaster ride, and really this week does not look to be any different. Beautiful weather today and tomorrow, but coming Tuesday night, strong cold front, kind of like last week, pushes through our area, bringing with us a chance of some light rain, snow mix, and some cooler temperatures behind that cold front. I'll have more on that in just a second. First, I just want to point out again just how warm our temperatures have been. Our weather certainly has rebounded from those cooler temperatures we saw this weekend, again with our high of 62 degrees, well above average. You can see we did receive a little bit of precipitation with that rain-snow mix we saw this weekend, although we still are plenty dry for this time of year. And zooming things out, temperatures are through the 60s. Throughout most of our area, you can see to our west, Junction City 60 degrees, to our southwest, Emporia also 60 degrees. It is a little bit cooler out west. You can see to our east, our neighbors, Kansas City 63 degrees. Overall, it feels pretty good. Now, speaking of rebounding, tonight certainly looks to be a pleasant night. Those clouds that have been kind of sitting over our area are forecast to increase a little bit. That really shouldn't affect our forecast all that much. It's going to be a pleasant night, 55 degrees. Foggy with a chance of some weak waving, that south 10-mile-an-hour wind. Certainly going to help things a little bit there. But tomorrow, we should not have any need for a coat, 72 degrees. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, especially with that southwest wind going to help move some dry, warmer area into our area, making things possibly even a little bit warmer than 72 degrees. Starting your day off at 8 a.m., 54 degrees. It's going to be a pleasant start to your day, and from there, things are going to warm up quite a bit. 62 degrees at 11 o'clock, and by 2, 70 degrees. It really does not get any much better than that. By 8 o'clock, things do start to cool off ahead of that cold front that's going to move through. No need to worry. You're probably not going to be out when it pushes through. It's going to be late tomorrow night. Now, Tuesday, I should have a precipitation chance up there. I've put a probably 60% chance of some possible rain-snow mix. Now, if it does happen, it's going to be late Tuesday night. We're talking 3 to 4 in the morning. I'm not anticipating any sort of accumulation if it does happen to snow, so don't worry about that. But behind that cold front, we are anticipating some cool weather, albeit a little bit calm, not much, a whole lot going on. And although late this week promises to be a little bit cooler, Tuesday you really can't argue with 72 degrees. Guys, it's going to be some perfect baseball weather on Tuesday.
All right. Well, thanks, Jacob. Yeah, it seems like every time Kansas baseball takes the field, we have that great weather. But tonight, it's all about Kansas basketball.
Yeah, baseball tomorrow, 3 p.m. at Hoagland Ballpark. But tonight, it's all about the seniors. Coming up next in sports, we discuss the senior night activities that are just hours away at Allen Fieldhouse. Plus, Kansas basketball picked up a road victory in Austin over the weekend. An award-winning performance from Kansas freshman Josh Jackson and key losses by ranked teams led to a major shift at the top of the latest AP poll. That and more next.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. The doctor stopped by and said, well, it is leukemia. And then the next thing she said without even missing a beat was, and here's what we're going to do. We are so blessed and lucky to say that she is extremely healthy. I could not be more grateful for groups like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It was that research that let that doctor say, it's leukemia, and here's what we're going to do.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go along, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Another week, another award for Kansas freshman forward Josh Jackson. The soon-to-be NBA star now has 9 Big 12 weekly awards, just one shy of tying former Texas standout Kevin Durant's record of 10 weekly honors. In Saturday's game against the Longhorns, Jackson stuffed the stat sheet with 18 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He led the way as the Jayhawks topped Texas 77-67. Later in the weekend, BYU went on the road and down to the wire with Gonzaga, and they defeated the top-ranked Zags. The Cougars' victory created an opening for Kansas to ascend to the top spot in the AP poll for the 25th time under head coach Bill Self. The Jayhawks received 58 of 65 first-place votes. Gonzaga drops to number 4, their number 1 seed still in question. The freshman Josh Jackson led the way as Kansas rose to the number 1 spot in men's basketball, but tonight it's about the seniors, who will also be playing their last game in Allen Fieldhouse. With a 13th straight Big 12 title already in hand, Kansas fans will enjoy the final home game for Player of the Year frontrunner Frank Mason, starting center and 5th-year senior Landon Lucas, as well as Jayhawk head coach Bill Self's favorite player, his son, Tyler Self. Tip-off against Oklahoma and senior night at Allen Fieldhouse is set for 8 p.m. with festivities scheduled both before and after the game. From one senior day to another, the women's basketball team honored its veteran players on Saturday as they looked to pick up their 3rd conference win. The Jayhawks gave up a late lead over rival Kansas State en route to a 54-61 loss.
Couldn't be proud of our seniors for their effort. These two obviously over the last couple of years, especially in the midst of a coaching change, and Meek played well today, and Kaylin had a career high, so I don't think she could have asked any more from herself.
I feel like we work so hard and we always fall just a little short. And I feel like coming into this game, one thing that we've been emphasizing, especially the last few games, is just playing for each other and playing for the seniors that we have here, the 6 of us. And we are such a special group of girls.
Kansas women's basketball returns to action tonight for its regular season finale against the Mountaineers in Morgantown. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m.
All right, well, as the women's basketball team makes their return to Allen Fieldhouse, comedian Jordan Peele made his first appearance in the director's chair with the debut of this new movie, Get Out. Peele's satire puts a dark twist on the classic Meet the Parents narrative. The story focuses on an interracial couple's weekend getaway when a series of disturbing events begin to uncover a dark truth. The film quickly jumped to the #1 spot at the box office, grossing over $30 million in the opening weekend. The movie received a rare 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't believe that's never been done before.
Yeah, pretty hard to have a perfect movie, but I guess they got it done.
Well, let's hope tonight's senior ceremony for KU goes as planned, earning a 100%, and we will see that coming up later tonight. As for now, we thank you for joining us on KUJH News.
From the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.